All right, and here we are, everyone. Welcome. Thank you guys all so much for stopping by the stream, or for those people that are going to participate in helping, you know, enjoy the content that is this very long journey that we're about to have. So for those people that don't know what exactly a Nuzlocke is, I'm going to briefly explain it to you guys right now. So basically what it is I have a preset rules that I have determined for myself to make the overall game in and of itself harder for me when it comes to how I'm going to play through the game. So for those people that have never experienced something like this before, let me tell you, this is going to be very, very long and very, very hard. And so it's going to be spanned out, hopefully not super long, hopefully if we're lucky within the span of a couple of weeks. But either way, it's going to be a fun time, because this challenge that we're making for ourselves is I have to beat Pokemon. This is Diamond, actually. So I have to beat Pokemon Diamond with Shinies only. Yes, Shinies only. So this is a challenge that a lot of people have done before in a variety of different games. So I'm going to attempt to do it with Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. So excited for everyone that's a part of the journey. All right, Barry. I always go Barry just because, I mean, that's how he was in the TV show. But yeah, and then I would be remiss without letting people know. All right, actually, hold on one second. Let's start this timer and start. Boom. There we are, baby. We are starting our journey now. Yeah, I would be remiss without saying, for those people that are new to the YouTube channel, we are doing a weekly giveaway. And so what that kind of looks like is basically, if you are subscribed to the channel after every single video that I post, as long as you leave a like and comment down below, you actually enter yourself in to win now 12 Pokemon Fusion Strike packs. And as we gain more and more subscribers, it's more and more packs that we give away. And the fact of the matter is, we literally crushed our goal, which was to try and hit 250. And we did that in the span of like a week and a half, going from like 170 or something. So I can't thank you guys once again enough for the support. It really does mean the world to me that you guys have been able to help me so much. So yeah, seriously, thank you guys all so much. Let's take a look and see how the audio is running on this. I want to do a quick little overview and see what's kind of going on, just to make sure that everything is running smooth for you guys. So let's turn down the Elgato a little bit. All right, cool. And then let's change the latency to fast. And then once we've done that, we've also changed the autosave. Yes, let's turn that off. Now, how the frick do I save? There we go. Volume sounds a lot cleaner. Alright, here we go. Let's start the journey, guys. Tell me, Koga, is it too loud now, or does it sound a lot better? Is this better than Sword and Shield? I guess it depends, first off, a couple of things on, you know, what you're basing it off of. Okay, cool, sweet, thanks, Koga. So Travis, if you're one of those people that says to yourself, like, how do I want to say this? Well, actually, I gotta ask you a couple of things. First off, have you played Brilliant Diamond, or have you played Diamond and Pearl before? That's your first question. If not, then I think it's a really fun experience to have. If you have played Diamond and Pearl before, first off, this is my first ever experience playing this, so I can't really judge how I think the remake in and of itself is as a game. So far, just off of first looks, I'm not gonna lie, the graphics look a lot better than I was expecting. I mean, I know they had done a bunch of bug updates, so I'm definitely excited that things look a lot cleaner. And if I'm being honest, I mean, you can say it's biased or not, but having played Gen 4 when I was a kid, my favorite generation was Gen 4. Now, overall, I had done Gen 3, that was my first gen, but I really fell in love with Generation 4. You never played Diamond and Pearl? Honestly, then if you've never played Diamond and Pearl, then I do think you'll enjoy the game, because it's a remade version of a really cool experience. I think personally the starters are some really, really cool starters. I know a lot of people really enjoy them. I also think that as far as it goes, the overall dialogue in and of itself of the game, I think it's not the best, but I don't think it's the worst. I think it's like, it's in the like middle of the road tier as far as it goes when it comes to the overall dialogue of the game itself. So if you're trying to go for a like, all right, I love like learning about the journey when it comes to Pokemon, I would say probably your best bet on that. Okay, how do I save? How the frick do I save? Can someone explain that to me? Oh, it's right there, bottom right. Why am I freaking out? Click R to save. Yes, I would love to save the adventure so far. Yeah, so honestly, what I would say, so Koga says his favorite generation is Gen 5. I would say from a story perspective, they definitely just hit the nail on the head. They absolutely crushed it as far as it goes when it comes to a storyline. So they did an absolute phenomenal job. I really, really enjoy kind of what they did and kind of how they managed to, you know, really be able to create such in-depthness when it came to the overall story and dialogue of Lord N and Gaskin, I think is how his name was pronounced. The lure itself, I think in Sinnoh is probably my favorite, however. So from a lure perspective, that's one of the reasons why I really like this game. Also, I just love the legendaries. I mean, you can see in the background in my like cam, like as far as it goes, you know, Garchomp, Giratina, Darkrai are my favorite characters, so I absolutely love it. All right, here we go. Let's see what we can do. So for those people that don't know, who have heard kind of what's the deal with this game, but basically how this works is I cannot look at the first 3 Pokemon and see, oh, this one's a shiny, so I have to actually click and interact in the game in order to see if the Pokemon is going to be a shiny. So this is a Turtwig. For those people that don't know what a shiny Turtwig looks like, it's kind of got like a seafoamish green color with a little bit of yellowing as its off color. So it's got a really cool shiny. That would have been sick if I got it first encounter. But the overall countdown time is 1 minute and 40 seconds. Sword and Shield was borderline bad. Would much rather play red, blue, yellow for Game Boy. Travis, if I'm being honest, I absolutely hated Sword and Shield. I think the game concept of the wild area was actually a really good game concept. I think they could have done more with it, considering that it only made up such a small percentage of the game. I think that the overall handheldiness when it comes to playing the game was pretty annoying. I didn't like how they basically made everything super easy for you. That was definitely a bummer for me in my personal opinion. So I definitely think they could have done more with it. You know, that's just me. Wait, what just happened? I saved the game, yeah? So hold on one second. I was looking at an overlay on my other screen. I'm just spamming A. I want to see, what did I miss? That was weird. But yeah, no, Travis, I mean, if you've never played Diamond and Pearl, I think Diamond and Pearl is my favorite generation personally. I think it's my favorite because I think the game in and of itself is really good. I think that a lot of the Pokemon in the game are really good. I think it has a lot of really good aspects to it in and of itself. So that's one of the reasons why I would say I really do enjoy Diamond and Pearl. So if you are someone that is new and has never played Diamond and Pearl before, I highly recommend getting the game. If you have gotten it before, you know, unless you're a huge fan, you don't need to get it necessarily. But when it comes to me, like, I personally, like I said before, am a huge fan of Diamond and Pearl, as it is my favorite one. So I honestly, I mean, I'm gonna get it. So it's a game that I definitely absolutely loved growing up as a kid. So I mean, I don't see why not. Not to mention the fact of the matter too, there's some new experiences that they're gonna kind of have for people to try out. So I definitely think that's gonna be really cool to see how they've expanded in the underground world. So I think they've you know, done a good job so far with the graphics off of first experience. So I'll be interested to see kind of how the rest of the game plays out. But my only thing that I can complain about so far is the fact of the matter that you have a 1:40 minute countdown timer before you can encounter your freaking starter. Oh my god, how annoying is that? Oh goodness gracious. So that's 2 encounters right there, and it's not even, we're just getting started. Which I want to put down a countdown counter too. I'm trying to see if there's a way that I can find a screen capture. I'm gonna try and add a new source for a screen capture and see if I can make it so that I can show here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show a calculator, but I'm going to stretch the calculator for you guys. So what I basically mean by that is here, you'll see what I mean. So we're going to break this to down here, break this to down here, and then break this to right here. Okay, so here is the countdown. So here is where we are on the overall counter. So we're currently at 2. So that is our current encounter rate. So for those people that are like, how many encounters have you approached? This is how much it is right now. Later, I'll add on a different widget so that it looks a little bit more professional. But as far as it goes right now, this is how long we've been playing. This is kind of the countdown counter. Now, to be fair, I kind of took my sweet ass time at the very beginning here. Here, let's also do a save here. I know this might sound minuscule, but I want to make it so that I take as little steps as possible each time I play this game. So if I can actually just you might think to yourself like, oh, you're optimizing it by several seconds and you're wasting time in the process, but like, see, like, look, all I have to do is take 1 step now. I played Sword and Shield mostly as a way to catch up on new Pokemon. Just recently started collecting again. Believe it or not, Chilling Reign brought me back. Hey man, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think Chilling Reign, honestly, in my personal opinion, is a solid set. I don't think it's one of those sets that people absolutely love or hate. I think it's one of those sets in the middle, especially if we're talking Sword and Shield era. You know, like, I personally enjoyed the set. I think that it has a lot of really cool cards within it. I think the biggest complaint a lot of people have is how big the set is. There's so many pulls you can get, and from a collector's perspective, you want that kind of in the middle balance to where you're able to collect without overdoing it. And what do I mean by overdoing it is basically like, you know, if you want someone to be able to collect a full set, or someone's going to want to collect the newest set, they're going to want to be able to do it with a reasonable amount of cash, not having to spend thousands of dollars. And since it is such a large set, it was really a turnoff for a lot of people, even though the set in and of itself was a very cool set as far as it goes when it comes to a lot of the Pokemon that you were able to get in it. So like, for example, you know, the main chase, which I've actually pulled, it's kind of funny. One of, like, I've opened like 3 booster boxes from Chilling Reign. My first booster box, I got 2 alternate arts. My second one, I got 2 alternate arts, and my third one, I got 1 alternate art. And like, I've gotten multiple rainbows and golds from opening up only like 3 or 4 booster boxes. So I've had phenomenal luck with the set, and I've pulled the main chase. So it was really cool to be able to get the get the Blaziken, and I love Blaziken. Blaziken was my favorite starters of the 3 from Gen 3, which is crazy to say considering the fact that you have Swampert as well as Skeptile, who are both amazing starters. So I mean, as far as it goes, it's got really good stuff. Does anyone got a Turtwig for trade? Hello, Blue. So as far as it goes right now, I personally am not trading anything. I am just doing a Nuzlocke run through where we're going to see about trying to complete the Pokemon Brilliant Diamond is what we kind of chose as far as it goes for what we're going to be doing as kind of our Nuzlocke. So for the rules on how we're going to do it, Double Blaze got me back because I pulled the Charizard and alternate art Reshiram. Yo, Koga, honestly, dude, like that that was such a cool set. I mean, especially because for those people that don't know, Double Blaze is, hey Blue, how's it going? Double Blaze is the Japanese version of Unbroken Bonds, for those people that don't know. If I am correct, yes, I think so. I think I'm correct on that. But yeah, really, really popular set. Hey, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. So far, we're 4 in. I'm about to add on to the countdown timer. Man, it's crazy to me how, like, much this kind of just absolutely goes on. Like, it really, really starts to add up, like, how long this is going to take, which is so funny to me. So, but thankfully, I've got you guys along for the ride, so it helps make the time go by fast. But so far, we're on 4 encounters. So definitely just getting things started for sure. And then if there's any issues with the audio, the video, or anything, please feel free not to hesitate and let me know. But yeah, Koga, honestly, I mean, like, as far as what they did with the Sword and Shield era, like, cards, I think they pretty much nailed it. Like, the only one you can really say they did a poor job on was Crimson Invasion. And I mean, even then, like, Crimson Invasion is not the best set, but it's not a terrible set by all means. Like, there's been some older sets that are really, really bad, like Steam Siege, for example. And so, like, I would rank it better than Steam Siege, but still not amazing. You know what I mean? Especially if you are a Gyarados fan, which I know that can be a lot of, like, underwhelming because everyone wants a Charizard, and since every new set has a Charizard, that's just kind of the MO that a lot of people expect. I agree with it being average for the most part. I do think it got nerfed since it came out before 2 much better sets. Also, pull rates. But there are just so many amazing cards. No, 100%, dude. I 100% agree with you. Like, I am in no way, like... Gosh dang it. There we go. Let's go, yes. No, I 100% agree with you. I think that the set in and of itself, it's a solid set. I think, like I said, there's a lot of really good pulls. I think you can get, like, the Blaziken I mentioned. I think the Metagross is really cool. I personally think that you have so many cool just Pokemon that you're able to pull within that set overall. So I mean, I completely agree, my guy, that it's a solid set. An A- set is what you think. I would say that it'll probably go down as a B across the board, in my personal opinion. But to be fair, we're not that far off from each other. So I think the biggest complaint will be how big the set is. However, the majority of the cards in the set, I mean, I can even pull it up and take a look on my screen and see kind of what we're looking at as far as it goes, what the set looks like. Here, I'm going to pull it up on my screen. Take a look. So as far as it goes, Pokemon Chilling Reign. All right, let me take a look at the set again, so we can just see what's in it. Because I mean, I already said I really liked a lot of the cards. So yeah, the Blaziken VMAX, it's a great pull. Galarian Moltres, absolute beautiful artwork, especially once we're starting to get in the era of alternate arts, which was introduced, obviously, like the new era version, of course, was introduced in Battle Styles. Snorlax Gold Secret Rare, I mean, that's amazing. The Shadow Riders, I mean, that's going to be really era specific, but the artwork is beautiful. The Zeraora V is also a very beautiful artwork. The Galarian card is really cool. I definitely got a ton of really cool trainer cards, especially you have some like nostalgic iconic ones from different generations. You've got Shiny Electrode, which is always a fan favorite, you know. The Tornadus, I don't think is super exciting. Bronzong Shiny Gold's kind of cool. I mean, yeah, you've got, like, you definitely have a lot of hitters for sure. I mean, like, no doubt about that. That definitely is something that is a huge appeal for a lot of people. So, I mean, yeah, I think that, like I said before, I still think, like, after looking at it, I still think B, definitely A-. I mean, we're pretty close as far as it goes. Because I think, I mean, it obviously got you back into the set. And then they obviously got the Rainbow Celebi, so that's also really cool as well. Rainbow Metagross. So a lot of really, really amazing cool cards. So, I mean, the set in and of itself is still a phenomenal set. If you look at it, like, in the grand scheme of things. It's just interesting because we've had so many, like, And it's weird to say, I shouldn't say, I don't know if so many is the right word, but we've had such a high standard in the most like recent couple of years when it comes to Pokemon sets. So I guess that's kind of how I look at it, Travis, from that perspective. So, because I mean, when you really think about it overall, as far as it goes, you've had Vivid Voltage, which I know a lot of people really liked. I thought Vivid was cool. I like the Amazing Rare concept. I think the Pikachu VMAX was really cool. But I would say overall that it was definitely overhyped, but it was still a cool set. I think Evolving Sky is definitely the best set in the Sword and Shield era, like bar none. Shining Fates was cool. I know that a lot of people obviously like Celebrations a lot. There's a lot of like great sets in the Sword and Shield era, so I think that's why it's one of those things where it's like, you know, I guess it would be easier for me to rank it where like I think it is in the overall grand scheme of things. Shadow Riders are meh for me, but yeah, the overall amount and quality of all arts will keep people coming back, you think? I mean, it's definitely possible. I mean, here's the deal. I think there's a difference between collecting the set and collecting the individual cards itself. So like when it comes down to it, a lot of people are going to collect the individual cards because they have a lot as far as it goes in that set to collect. Yeah, we're not too far off, and there are a lot of variables to consider. Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, I'm very much critical when it comes to the way in which I tell something. So I know a lot of people, the easy thing to do is just like, oh my god, best set of all time. Oh my god, worst set of all time. And so I like to be overall critical. I mean, yeah, I have my like clickbaity titles and stuff to get people to come in. And a lot of the content that I am clicking, I am correlating to what I'm discussing. The difference is I'm not one of those, you know, doom or boom kind of guys. Like, it's always like, it's the best or the worst. You know, I don't think that's the mentality I like to have. I like to be fair. I like to say like, all right, where is it ranked? So like, if I were to give you like a rank where it goes, if we're talking non-special sets meaning Celebrations and Shining Fates, I would say number 1 is Evolving Skies. And then I would say next up after that, honestly, I would put it right next to Vivid. So I don't know if I would say Vivid is above or below Chilling Reigns. They're so close for me. It's hard to really say. You know, I would say, if I was saying off my personal experience, I would say it's my second favorite set from the just standard booster box sets. But if we're talking about, you know, from overall card pools, God, that's still a hard one because Amazing Rares are super cool. Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Koga. I mean, that's kind of one of my biggest things is I try not to do that because it's really easy for a lot of people to just over-exaggerate. Like, especially when it comes to the fact of the matter that, like, you look at the way in which our society just runs, like, everyone needs to be able to pull your attention in. And so when you talk about, like, I don't know, like, let's just talk about, like, cryptocurrencies. Perfect example. I don't know how many people that are, like, invest in this coin and make millions of dollars, or 100x by tomorrow. Like, it's like crazy. And then you watch the video and they tell you absolutely no like substantive information. And so it's like, you're literally like just getting clickbaited and absolutely wasting your time. Versus for me, it's like, I'm going to give you some form of clickbaity title, but I'm going to give you content that you're actually going to enjoy, on top of the fact of the matter that like you're going to also be able to like take some things away from what I kind of showed you, you know, because I'm someone who likes to, you know, be very in depth when it comes. So if you see like 5 videos be like, oh, Pokemon market crash in the title, but they're all gonna have different subsequent like, you know, kind of, you know, titles. And what I mean by that, like why the Pokemon crash, how the Pokemon crash, are like all the same thing, right? But then I'm also gonna have one of, you know, what can we expect to see in opportunities in this Pokemon market crash? What can we do to predict when the next Pokemon market crash is going to happen? So, like, I like to go all super in depth when it comes to these things. Or, like, the Pokemon market is, you know, going to the moon. Why I think it's going to the moon. When I think that it'll go to the moon next. Like, so many different, like, ways to, like, kind of put it and, like, really go in depth. So versus a lot of people will just reiterate the same thing over and over again, I'll try and give you key pieces of things you can really take away from each and every one of my videos. And then of course you have as well, you know, now I'm going to be doing a new shiny schedule, because first off, the reason why I did this to begin with, Travis, is because this is actually my favorite Pokemon game. So that is one of the reasons why I decided to do this shiny Nuzlocke challenge. And I want to kind of get some of the rules established. Obviously, we're still getting things started, but here's how I'm going to run it. So rules, pretty simple in my personal opinion. I'm going to actually I want to read what Travis said first. That's another interesting variable is how many people enjoy buying collecting singles versus how many people feel the need to only collect cards. No, I 100% agree with you on that, Travis, and that's one of the reasons why I would put it above Vivid Voltage. But that's even harder though, because I didn't open a ton of Vivid. I only opened up like 1 or 2 booster boxes, and I didn't have a ton of luck. So like that's the thing, is a lot of people also equate it to the luck, because I mean amazing rare pulls are an amazing idea, and I think that if you're able to throw a rare in the reverse holo slot and you can get a double banger in a pack, that makes it so much better. And so you couldn't get that in Chilling Reigns, even though Chilling Reigns had a lot of amazing sets, you know, or cards. So like I definitely think that plays a variable, because I loved amazing rares. Now I wasn't as big into amazing rares as a lot of other people were, but I still think they were an amazing idea. And I definitely wish they would bring it back for more Pokemon. But yeah, that definitely plays a variable. 100% agree. But anyway, as I was saying, so what is our general rules going to be for those people that are wondering? So obvious rule is basically we're going to do kind of a standard. If you're going to play the game, aka the Shiny Nuzlocke, you have to catch a shiny Pokemon for it to be a part of your team. And how we're going to run it too is you can only catch Pokemon from different routes. So it can't just go in, farm a route, and then just completely go after the same Pokemon every single time. If I happen to catch a different shiny, I have to catch different ones from different routes. Will Vivid Voltage ETBs get reprinted? Gage, that is a very good question. So as far as it goes, I don't know if you follow my YouTube channel, but as far as it goes, we like to talk about a lot of reprints recently. That's kind of what we've been diving into. I also have my own distributor, so I have my kind of inside information that I learned from them. And what I have kind of learned as far as it goes is the Pokemon Company recently has been focusing a lot on booster boxes, on trying to get a lot of that product out for competitive play. The most recent reprint that they did do for Elite Trainer boxes is they did reprint the Sword and Shield base set Elite Trainer boxes. So in my personal opinion, that kind of leaves it up for the possibility that we could get Vivid Voltage Elite Trainer boxes. I wouldn't be surprised if they went back and started just reprinting all the Elite Trainer boxes. You know, I could be wrong because it's not a necessity for them, because these Elite Trainer boxes are in and of themselves not important to competitive play. It's more of a collector's piece at this point, because you don't need to have those sleeves and like that box to be able to play the competitive game. But that doesn't change the fact that Pokemon understands demand, and it's going to reprint to demand of whatever it looks like is going on in the market. So in other words, long story short, to answer your question, I think it's possible. Do I think it's probable? I would say at this point, I would say it's about 60% likely. And the reason why I say that, it would be less if they hadn't already reprinted the Sword and Shield base set booster boxes. Elite Trainer boxes. If they had done that, then it would have been a completely different story. Mainly based off the fact of the matter that you know, a lot of people kind of were taken by surprise when they went back and reprinted a set that came out a year or two ago, which, I mean, to be fair, is not unlike the Pokemon Company. Bro, that shiny thing is gonna be super hard. I would not have a patience. Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, that's the thing, is like I said before, guys, this is gonna be a journey over the next couple of weeks. Like, I think the longest shiny that we're gonna have to take and find is going to be this Turtwig. I think the Turtwig is gonna take the longest. And for people that are wondering why Turtwig is just my favorite of the Pokemon. It has nothing to do with how its shiny looks. If I'm being honest, I think Turtwig and Grotto have amazing shinies. I think you know, Torterra has a solid shiny, but I think they should have stuck around with the original Seafoam Green. I didn't like the way they changed it in its third evolution. But yeah, it's just one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. Like, I absolutely love it. And I think the concept of the Pokemon in of itself and the artwork, I think it's done beautifully. So I'm definitely a huge fan of Torterra and Turtwig. So yeah, no, this is going to be a game of patience for sure. And I'm going to try my hardest too to like, well, not try my hardest, but I'm going to basically try and see how fast I can get it. So, and I'm going to do my best to entertain you guys, answer you guys' questions as well for those people that stop in and the stream, as I am an open book when it comes to asking questions in regards to all things Pokemon, whether it be the game, whether it be the cards, because I am an open book of information. So if you have opinions or questions, I mean, I love talking to you guys, interacting. Plus, it helps make the time go by faster, because this is going to be long. So, I mean, think about it, guys. We've already been 27 minutes in, and we're currently on 12 encounters. Like, this takes long because of that minute 40. But anyway, going back to shiny Nuzlocke rules. So how I'm going to establish it. Do you know the chance of it being a shiny? The exact chances, if I'm correct, CS, is 1 in 4,080, I think. So it's around 1 in 4,000. That I do know 100%. So overall, that's crazy high. Even now, and take this into consideration, the older generations. So basically Gen 5 and newer were 1 in 8,000. So they cut the odds down too. So this is easier odds. So my chances are very, very slim. And so I could either get lucky and I can be one of those people that catches it in the first couple hundred, or I can just cry myself to sleep and I can be one of those guys that catches it in the first couple thousand plus. So from my personal experience, I've had pretty good shiny luck to where, you know, the longest it's really taken me, and this was with the shiny charm granted. So when you got the shiny charm in the older generations, basically it cut your odds down by 4. So it goes in like 1 in 1,200 or something. So like back in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, I was shining Honey Reshiram, and that was the longest it's actually taken me to catch a shiny. My encounter rate was about 1 in 1,600, I think is how many I encountered. So it's definitely, you know, that one took me several days to kind of get, but overall, it was you know, not that long in the grand scheme of things. Now, of course, that was with the shiny charm. This has a 1 and 40-second countdown from when I'm able to encounter the Pokemon, so that definitely plays a factor. So definitely really tough when it comes to how long this could potentially take. But I'm optimistic. I mean, to be fair, we're still starting off. It's been a half an hour now. So, but I'm going to do my best to kind of grind this out and see what we can do. But yeah, shiny Nuzlocke rules. I keep getting distracted. Shiny Nuzlocke rules. Only can catch shiny Pokemon on my journey. On top of that as well, I'm going to make it to where if I do want to catch a shiny, it has to be from a new route. It can't be from the same route. So if I caught a Pokemon on Route 3, it's a shiny, and I wanted a different shiny Pokemon, it doesn't matter. I gotta suck it up, and I gotta go to a different route and see if I get lucky. Another thing as well, this game is a remake, and so it looks like as if they're going to make this game super easy when it comes to how you're going to be battling people. So it's not going to be like the old Cynthia. So how I am going to make it is I'm going to make it so that if I do white out, the game is not over. That is an interesting one that I'm kind of making a specific rule for. The reason why I say that, or not white out, sorry. If I white out, the game is over. But the reason why I say if I white out is because hypothetically, if I were to lose this trainer battle, in my personal opinion, I would still want to continue the game. Now, you can look at it from the perspective of, all right, you're not making it hard enough for yourself, but I want to at least be able to get past after the Turtwig. Once I've been able to do that, then I think that's where all things are like kind of full steam ahead on what I'm going to be able to do. And what I'm going to do is after my first official battle, if I lose, if I win, doesn't matter, we're still going to go forward. But how I'm going to make it is that we're going to, if one of my shiny Pokemon knocks out, it's out of the game. I got to get a new one. And that sounds pretty brutal, especially considering the fact of the matter that like it takes so long to find a shiny, but it's one of these things where it's like, I'm going to do that on purpose to prepare. And another reason why as well, I'm making it so that I have to go to different routes to catch a shiny Pokemon is because otherwise I can just milk it, like going to certain areas. Like, so like a Turn of Forest is a perfect example. I can double battle in a Turn of Forest looking for shinies. And so that's kind of how I'm going to be doing it. Koga, the Elite Four is pretty hard apparently. Oh, that'll be interesting to see. I'm also going to do level caps as well. I'll kind of later on put on the screen what a level cap kind of looks like, especially once we start to delve more and more into the kind of, first encounter, second encounter when it comes to gym leaders. And so basically what the level cap is it's going to be I can't be higher level than the most recent gym leader. For example, I think Rourke has a level 17 or 18 Creanidos. So that is kind of going to be the level cap for as high as we can go. Koga, don't make me nervous. I would like to actually complete this overall thing. Don't make me come back and say, all right, we're going to change the rules because I would like to stay consistent. Yeah, of course. I enjoyed our talk too, Travis. I mean, feel free as well. I really appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much once again. I mean, like I said before, man, like if you ever stop by and find yourself watching the channel, or if you are sticking around, feel free to ask me any questions as well. And of course, as always, I'd be remiss without saying it. We are actually doing a giveaway as well. So if you are a follower and you leave a comment at the end of one of our videos as well as a like, you actually enter yourself into a weekly giveaway where we are giving away 12 Fusion Strike packs. So once again, I appreciate everything, brother. I really enjoy our talk, and hopefully I can see you around soon if you are leaving. Gauge, Lavery, Elite Four rematches have full EVs and IVs and competitive moveset. Okay, what do you mean when you say rematches? Because as far as it goes, is there an afterplay in the game? Because this is my first time playing the game. I haven't experienced the game just because I wanted to make it harder for myself, and I didn't want to kind of spoil what they kind of changed. So I'll be interested to see how I want to do that. I mean, I don't know. I could change it to where if I get knocked out, then I am allowed to keep my shiny Pokemon. I just wanted to make it harder for myself. Just because it makes it more strategic. I can't just go in and absolutely womp people's teams, especially considering I'm going to try and give myself a level cap as well. So, because that also will make it a lot harder. After you get your national deck. Interesting. Okay, so that makes sense though. I mean, that completely makes sense to me. Yeah, that would be... I mean, they have to kind of do it like that. They did it in the older games, if I'm correct. They added every single Pokemon to be 10 levels higher. I would have been surprised if they didn't. There is a rematch with all the gym leaders in the Elite Four. So I do know that they allowed you to I mean, because you're always allowed to rematch them. So I don't know if there's a change. And then another set of rematches for the Elite Four a second time. Oh my goodness, that is crazy. Okay, sick. You're sticking around for a bit. I appreciate that, Travis. Yeah, no, my guy. The reason why I didn't know if you were leaving or not is because it sounded like you were going to leave when you said you enjoyed our talk. So like usually like you say that at the end of a phone call, like I enjoyed talking to you. All right, bye. You know what I mean? But I'm stoked you're sticking around, my guy. But yeah, that's interesting, Gage, that they have the Elite Four rematches. I think that's at least good because that gives you some like kind of later gameplay. One of the things that a lot of people are kind of talking about is there going to be like some DLC play that's going to come in the game. I'll be interested to kind of see if they are going to be doing that. You know, they've been pretty strong about this being a faithful remake of the game, so I would be surprised if they didn't or if they did do a DLC afterwards. You know, who knows what's kind of going to happen with this game. It's been very much like we've been in the dark for the most part. So, I mean, literally leading up to the final trailer, like everyone had no clue what was going on. So, definitely interested to see as far as it goes if they are going to be bringing a expansion. If they do, I mean, of course, I'm going to pay for it because I absolutely love this game. Those freaking Skamazers got me into getting me to spend money. I mean, who would have guessed it? But yeah, man, I mean, that's their prerogative. So, but I doubt it. I think they're more focused on the fact of the matter that you're going to have the Arceus game that's going to come out. And so a lot of people I know are really, really, you know, into the Arceus games. Into the new Arceus game that's going to come out, especially because it has like a Breath of the Wild kind of format. So I would actually be pretty surprised overall if they did decide to, you know, have some kind of you know, DLC. So who knows? Who knows? We'll kind of see as far as it goes what's happening. But all right, here we go. Let's see. So far we're at around 17 encounters in 36 minutes. So definitely a fun time. Oh my gosh, that's crazy, dude. Oh, that's so crazy that it's taking this long. But yeah, we're still chugging along. So, and like I said, who knows? Odds are we probably won't get the shiny today, but if we're lucky, we can definitely see about getting it in the first couple of encounters. And I can show people as well what kind of a shiny Turtwig looks like. So I can do shiny Turtwig And we can do a, for those people that kind of don't know what it looks like, we can do kind of a screen capture of what it looks like. Gosh dang it. Hold on 1 second. Arceus game is what I'm really waiting for. See, I get that, Koga. I know a lot of people passed on this game. The only reason why I didn't is because this is one of my favorite gens. But for those people that do, I completely understand it. The only people I would recommend to kind of like get this game are the people that have never played Brilliant Diamond, Diamond and Pearl before, and then the people that are huge Diamond and Pearl fans. I would definitely recommend it. But other than that, you know, if you've already played the game, you weren't a huge fan of the game itself, and that's completely fine. I get that. But okay, let's take a look so we can see a close-up picture for those people that do want to see. All right, so let's do a zoom in on the screen. Here, let's see if I can do what it looks like. Here, we're gonna do a screen capture. And we're gonna show you guys, here's what it looks like. For those people that are wondering, this is what a shiny Turtwig looks like. Oh, let's not move things around that much. So let's take a look on a side-by-side comparison. For those people that do want to see, so here, we'll kind of take a look, and just so you guys can see, I will say it looks amazing compared to Sword and Shield. I agree with you so far, CS. I was definitely expecting the Sheebs to look, the Chibis, sorry, not the Sheebs, the Chibi work to look kind of bad, and honestly, so far, it looks pretty clean. I'm actually really enjoying it from my resetting. So here, we're gonna show, this is what a shiny looks like, and then for those people that were about to click in, this is what a non-shiny looks like right here. So this is a non-shiny compared to shiny. You can see there's kind of like a sea foamish greenish color, a little bit darker of a yellow tint, and then the top is kind of stayed the same, but that is kind of the main difference when looking at what the shiny looks like. So yeah, now let's see if we can get that shiny. So all right, there we go. See, and that's what the regular looks like as well. Sad face. All right, what is this? This is the all right, 19 screen capture. I need to rename this as well so I can get things so I can know what I'm doing next time. Calculator. Sorry, give me a second, guys. Sorry about that. I was just renaming the calculator so I can know what the countdown up and down is. Yeah, no, so far definitely feeling good about the game. But yeah, no, the rules, I mean, the rules, I think we're going to keep it the same. It's going to be just kind of standard Nuzlocke rules. After I get basically the Turtwig, then it's all off as far as if I white out or not. Otherwise, you know, I mean, if I lose a Pokemon, I lose a Pokemon. So, but I feel like it shouldn't be. I mean, through all my events in the game, I don't think I've really struggled to where I've whited out before. Especially if I play this right and I level up appropriately, this shouldn't be that much of a struggle. But yeah, no. As far as it goes, I don't think that we should have too much trouble. All right, here we go. Let's see what we get, guys. But yeah, and I mean, for those people that are also wondering what kind of shinies am I going to look for. So the reason why I actually picked this game over Pokemon Pearl is because this one happens to have one of my favorite Pokemon that isn't exclusive. So it is a shiny Honchkrow. So I absolutely love Honchkrow. Honchkrow is one of my favorite Pokemon. If I'm correct, you can find it in Eterna Forest, which also makes it really nice for me because Eterna Forest is going to be one of the kind of places in which we're going to be doing a lot of shiny hunting because we do have that double battle. And another thing as well, it's not encounter shiny, it's capture shiny. So if I do knock out a Pokemon and it is a shiny in that route, as long as I have not caught it, but here's the deal. what I mean by that necessarily is if I can't purposely knock out a Pokemon. There's a Pokemon in that area that I do not like. I can't just knock out the Pokemon and then because I wanted to, and then like continue hunting. It's like I have to generally, I mean, we could change it, you know, we could really make it so that I hate my life, and we can say to ourselves like, no, you encountered it, you should have captured it, couldn't capture it, gotta move on. So it's like we can kind of talk about that. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on one way or another. You know, it's definitely up for interpretation on how you guys think like is most fair. But you know, that's kind of how I thought about planning it out, just because I want to make this, you know, most importantly, the purpose of the Nuzlocke is not only to challenge myself, but also to at least have fun with it, you know? I don't want to spend the majority of the time soft resetting, and then, you know, one of the areas in which I'm able to soft reset is going to be taken away from me, and I didn't even get a shiny out of it. So it's like, that's just kind of how I look at it. But, you know, obviously, you know, it's obviously my own Nuzlocke because I made the rules, but I still want people to be able to chime in and like partake in, you know, what the rules are, because I do appreciate you guys stopping by and supporting the channel. So definitely want everyone's kind of input as far as it goes when it comes to how we're going to run it. So but yeah, so, and once again, I want to thank everyone as well who has subscribed to the YouTube channel. So last night I made a post on our website basically talking about how we're going to be doing obviously the new giveaway, and our goal was 250, and we absolutely just smashed that. So as far as it goes, I can't thank you guys enough, as obviously we're now going on to our next goal of 500, where once we hit that mark, we'll start giving away 18 packs each and every week. So Koga, what is the rule with the underground? That is a great question, Koga. So as far as it goes, I've never experienced the underground, so I haven't really thought that part through. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say 1 shiny in underground. I think that'll be the rule. Get a shiny in underground, that's it. Was Diamond and Pearl your first childhood game? Like for me, it was Red, Yellow, Blue came out, it was my very favorite, or maybe just the most nostalgic. Great question, Travis. I love that question. So my first game was Pokemon Sapphire. It was a game I absolutely adore. I love Gen 3. I think Emerald of the 3 is my favorite for obvious reasons. Kind of like how my favorite of Gen 4 is Platinum. But if I had to pick between the two, Sapphire is still my favorite. But yeah, no, I mean, I would say that as far as it goes, you know, it was not my first, but it is definitely my favorite. And the reason why it is my favorite over Gen 3 is probably because oh god, that's a hard one to say. You can say it's from a nostalgic perspective. That definitely plays a factor, obviously, but I can make the same argument with Gen 3. I was very nostalgic about that. I would say the reason why I absolutely loved it is because although I love the Gen 3 legendaries, I absolutely love the Gen 4 legendaries. I mean, Garchomp is my favorite Pokemon. Giratina is my favorite legendary. Darkrai is my favorite mythical Pokemon. So, like, you have all these amazing Pokemon in the game that I absolutely love. And I love the lure behind a lot of these Pokemon. So I would say that's kind of the main reason why I absolutely love 4 over 3. Although 3 had amazing starters, and I absolutely love the starters in the game. And it also introduced Metagross and introduced Salamence, and those were really cool Pokemon that I do love. I don't love Metagross and Salamence as much as I do Garchomp, for example. Like, Garchomp is that's my boy. Like, that is the one that I absolutely love. I love the design. And for me, too, I would say probably one of the other things that I absolutely loved about the game, and this is an important factor in my personal opinion, is the Elite Four and the Champion in Gen 4 are harder, in my personal opinion, than any other game. Like, you have depending upon which game you play, you either face, his name's not Wally, his name is, I think his name might actually be Wally. Anyway, you face in what would be an Emerald, the Gen 8 gym leader, or it's the Elite Four champion in Emerald and Sapphire, or sorry, Sapphire and Ruby. Wallace is his name. Yes. Anyway, and so he's got all water type Pokemon. You got a grass starter, you got some electric Pokemon, easy sweep, nothing crazy. Emerald, the leader is Steven, and he's all steel. Pretty easy team sweep, so it's like nothing really crazy from a competitive perspective. but I have never, ever had to save and soft reset so many times, even as an adult, dude, just to beat freaking Cynthia, who has an absolutely amazing team with amazing moveset variety. So like Cynthia was and still is amazing. Like she is so strong. So overall, like I love that aspect because it made it hard for you. It wasn't like they handed it for you, which is one of my biggest issues with a lot of like the XY on like 3DS, you know, era. I gave up trying to beat Platinum as a kid. I totally get that, Koga. I mean, it was so hard growing up as a kid. I remember there was like, I would literally spend hours trying to beat her because I had to save, try and reset, save, try and reset, save, try and reset because of how many times I had to attempt beating her because of how freaking strong she is. So she's an absolute monster in my personal opinion. So yeah, definitely she was super strong, which is one of the reasons why I appreciate the game a lot too, because it's not just like they're handing everything to you in a platter, you know. So that's another reason why I like the game. Also another reason why I like the game, I loved how many evolutions it brought into the game. And what do I mean by that? Basically, what it did was it added in Rosalia got a new evolution, Roserade. Magmar got Magmortar, Electabuzz got Electivire, Magnemite got Magnezone, Rhydon got Rhyperior, you got Leafeon, Glaceon, which are two of my favorite EVs. So they introduced a lot of really cool like evolution types. Togetic got Togekiss. So it's like you really were able to get like a lot of really cool evolutionary types, which for a lot of people, they really enjoyed that, you know, including myself. So because in Gen 3, although that was my first generation, they didn't introduce any new EVs. They had EVs, obviously the main three, and then Gen 2 introduced Umbreon and Espeon, and then you finally got your Leafeon, Glaceon in Gen 4. So the introduction to those two were my absolute favorite. Dream long term is to be able to somehow own both of them in PSA 10 from the Level X era. Oh, I sneezed. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, I would love to own, for those people that do know some of the like older card sets, I would love to own both in gosh dang. I would love to be able to own both the English versions of the Glaceon and Leafeon. Now the Glaceon, I think that's a pretty that'll be easy for me to own. It's expensive, but it'll be pretty easy. But the reason why Leafeon is kind of hard is because there's only like 5 or 6 in existence, and I've never seen it up on the auction marketplace. So as far as it goes, for those people that have it, they seem like the type of people that just want to keep it. So I definitely think that'll be harder. I have a Japanese version of a PSA 10 Leafeon Level X, but I want the English version. So just because it's the most nostalgic to me, especially considering the fact of the matter that, you know, Diamond and Pearl, Majestic Dawn was my favorite set growing up as a kid, just because I love the EVs so much. That and Stormfront. I would say also I love Stormfront. I remember as a kid, without knowing where to buy things, I went on eBay and I bought them each for $3 a pack, which probably at the time was probably overpriced considering how cheap everything was. But and I remember I pulled a Dusknoir Level X, which it's so funny as a kid. You keep things in such terrible condition. But yeah, no, I mean, honestly, like it was absolutely a blast as far as it goes. You know, going back and being able to like kind of look at some of the older cards that I had growing up as a kid, and now I want to be able to kind of relive my childhood and be able to collect that. So yeah, no, I definitely love Travis. You know, obviously you had a short question. I made it a long answer and kind of went off on a tangent. But yeah, no, that's the reason why I love Diamond and Pearl, Platinum so much. So, I mean, you've never played it, bro? I highly recommend getting it 100%. Because you're going to really enjoy your journey in the game. Gage, great question as well. Man, you guys have a lot of great questions today. Is now a good time to collect Level X cards? In my personal opinion, no, actually. And let me give my reasoning behind why I think now is not a good time to collect Level X cards. So the reason for that is because if you look at the overall Pokemon market as far as it goes, when the market was popping off, the level X's were the ones that were last to pop off. And now that the market is crashing more or less, I mean, especially in modern and WotC era cards, the level X era cards are the last ones to crash. They haven't crashed. They've been pretty steady. There was a new level X auction block that was just put up by Z&G, so it'll be interesting to see how a lot of those prices go. But a lot of them are hitting those $1,000 plus prices, which over a year ago were only going anywhere between $50 to $150. I would say 2 years ago at this point. A year ago was about $300. So overall, like as far as it goes, the reason why I don't think it's a good time is I think that right now, not only were they the first, that they were the last to pop off, and now they are kind of popping off really heavily. I think the fact of the matter is, with the Diamond and Pearl era games, I think they are playing a factor into the nostalgia of a lot of people going back and looking and saying, man, I remember level X's when I was a kid. Oh my god, I want to go back and collect these. And so I think right now, the overall hype for level X cards back in that era, especially because people are collecting so much nowadays, I think it's pretty high. And so for that reason, I think you're going to have these premium prices that you're going to be paying in this kind of era. And you know, that could potentially translate as well into Pokemon Arceus. So who knows as far as it goes how long this hype is going to go for. But as far as it goes, I definitely think that now is definitely not the time. I think, you know, we'll kind of see what happens with Pokemon Arceus. If these cards are going to continue to stay pretty strong in overall pricing. If they do stay strong in pricing, then I would definitely say wait, because I think there's a lot more downside to go in this market. And I'm going to talk about this actually in my next video, Gage. If you are a subscriber to the channel, or if you're not, definitely recommend it and checking out our videos, because we talk about a lot of these things. I think one of the reasons and the factors, I didn't really talk about this when I talked about kind of the market crashing. I gave a little bit explanation, but not a ton. I think that diving deep on Monday, we're going to really discuss kind of why the market really crashed. And just to kind of give you a little bit of that, you know, kind of a, you know, forefront of insight, is I personally believe that the reason why the market is crashing is because you had a lot of over-leveraged LGS stores. You had a lot of over-leveraged online stores, and basically what they were doing is they were doing one of two things. They were financing a lot of what they were buying with pre-orders. And so what do I mean by that? I mean, basically they would put pre-orders for an item. They didn't have the liquidity for that item. And then basically when they put up the pre-orders, they were able to find the money because of the sales that they made. And then when it came day for the overall product in and of itself for them to pay for it, they had the money because they had already put up their pre-order prices and got the money from it. Now, I think what's happening now is, since there's been such a huge collapse of a lot of, you know, or since there's been so many reprints that have been coming out, and you start to see so many people putting it out, well, since there's been so many reprints all at once, basically what's ended up happening is you've started to see a lot of Pokemon, you know, LGSs and online stores basically trying to, like, more or less race to the bottom to be able to sell their product. And with that, what's ending up happening is you're starting to see a lot of people that are not able to have the liquidity to pay for a lot of product that they got for pre-orders, or they bought these pre-orders for their next wave initially, and basically now they're just trying to offload it because they need the liquidity for their business, because they just need to be able to survive and pay rent. So I think that's probably one of the reasons why you're starting to see that collapse kind of happen. So what I think the future is going to happen is you're going to see a lot of LGS stores and a lot of online shops kind of take a huge hit as far as it goes. And they're going to default on a lot of, you know, their over leveraged, you know, expenses when it comes to pre-order, you know, like I just mentioned, or whether it be they took huge loans on credit cards or took huge risks. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like, not everything's going to go up forever. And I mean, I myself also took advantage of that pre-order stuff, but a lot of people got really extreme with it, and were playing with capital they didn't have to back up on. I see what you're saying. Hope the hype dies down. I'll just keep collecting WotC. Honestly, my guy, I am 100% in the same boat as you with this, Gage. I definitely think that, like, right now, WotC era is a pretty, I mean, first off, long term, it's a safe bet if you're trying to save from a value perspective, if you're trying to get a return. Because let's be honest here, man, like, for those people that get mad and say, like, oh, Pokemon shouldn't be an investment, it's both, man. It's an investment and it's a collectible, and at the end of the day, you should care as far as it goes. As far as it goes, you should really care about whether or not, you know, the market is doing good versus is doing bad. Because here's the deal, guys. If you said to yourself, like, okay, let's say Pokemon, for example, you know, let's say Pokemon just absolutely died, right? No one plays the game. And then you're saying to yourself, oh, look, I can get a booster box for 50 bucks. That's such a great deal. And then you say to yourself, all right, what's the next set going to be? And they're like, oh, there is no new set. And you're like, what do you mean there's no new set? It's like, well, no one plays the game because no one cares. Because the cards themselves are not collectible and no one really gives a shit about the competitive card game, excuse my language. Then it's like, do you really want those cheap prices? Because at the end of the day, you can get those cheap prices, but guess what? That comes with demand. And if your market is not in demand and your game is not in demand and your collectibles are not in demand for investors, then you're not going to be able to have a game to play. So that's super duper important. So as far as it goes, like, this is a collectible as well as an investment opportunity. So for those people that look at it from one way or another, it's going to tie in together at the end of the day. So WotC era, I think, is a good investment at this point, making sure that you look at a lot of the cards that perform the best, but also understanding that the ones with, you know, minter, rarer, scarcer, like, scarcer and rare, minter, older, scarcer. I think that's kind of like the three things you have to really look for. I know that SM Pratt talks about that a lot. So like looking at older sets and kind of which ones have a lot of those low population points, especially for WotC. And also you can't go wrong with a lot of the hollows. Look at the retracement points as well of how far they retrace, and say to yourself if you think it's an overvalue, if they over retraced and it's an opportunity to get in from where its all-time high was, or you can say to yourself it should have never been that high to begin with. Obviously, you know, not financial advisor, that's up for your interpretation. But yeah, I think WotC is retraced pretty heavily, so I think there's a lot of opportunities in WotC. And then overall, I think Level X, since it was an area that wasn't in high demand to begin with, I think it's kind of recatching up right now in its overall value, and then it eventually will take that pullback and follow the rest of the market. And the question is it because of the hype, or is it just, you know, kind of lagging? Really broad question, but I just so I can get a general opinion. What do you think of Ultra Modern Sealed as an investment? You're probably discussed in your video. Forgive me. Actually, no. That is so funny, Travis. That is actually going to be one of my upcoming videos. I was actually thinking about doing that, and I absolutely love that question again. Thank you guys once again for having such great questions. So as far as it goes, what is my personal opinion on Ultra Modern? So here's the deal on my personal opinion. I think sealed perspective, I think it's a good investment. I think from a overall card perspective, I think generally across the board, it is a bad investment. The reason why is because you have to look at it from two things. One, am I saying to myself that a Vivid Voltage booster box is going to $10,000? No. Because the thing is, the overall print of Vivid Voltage booster boxes were a lot higher than a lot of the older Pokemon boxes. Not to mention the fact of the matter, with time becomes scarcity as more and more product is going to be opened. And so because of that, there is less in existence because of how much time it's been since the product was opened back in the late 1990s. So as far as it goes, you have that kind of scarcity that you don't have with a lot of modern. However, over time, that scarcity will occur. So you have to take that from the consideration of, you can sit here and say to yourself, you know, they only printed 100,000 base set booster boxes, and these are fake numbers. So they only printed 100,000, you know, in this fake number, a base set booster boxes. And then you can say they printed 1 million of the Vivid Voltage booster boxes. Now you can say to yourself, if we say 1-to-1 scale versus 1-to-1 demand, booster box value will say, the booster box value of the base set is going to be 1,000 versus the 1-to-1 value for the voltage is going to be 100. Obviously, this is hypothetical. Also, this is very much, you know, kind of base set 1-to-1 scale value. But as far as it goes, as soon as, you know, over time starts to happen, both will go down or go up in value as more and more product is open. So I think overall sealed, as far as it goes, will eventually go up in time over value. So as far as it goes, another thing, and this is where my video is really going to come into play, I think the future of modern as cards, I think that the future is going to be BGS. And the reason why I say that is because with PSA, I'm not saying that it's easy to get a PSA 10, but I am saying that it's not easy to get a BGS Black Label. And so I think for the future of overall value of cards, especially in the terms of scarcity as a whole, I think Beckett black labels are going to be the future, and that's going to kind of be the new meta standard when it comes to having valuable cards, because it is very hard to get a BGS 10. And so for that reason, if you are going to grade modern, I would say that the future is going to be BGS black labels, because that is where your rarity is when it comes